Well, I got the new truck together. The Actro standing right next to the Scania, and you can see it's a nice looking truck. Very nice looking truck, actually. Yeah, look. Yeah, I'm very impressed with the scale look of the vehicle. Well, I got a couple of complaints. First of all, these doors. The door gimmick is a gimmick because they pop open. Drive down the road, they come open again. There is this tiniest little tab right here that's supposed to hold the door. But the problem is, it doesn't connect to anything. You can see where the alignment tab right here is supposed to line up, and that does. But the actual little tab that holds the door closed doesn't. That's the first thing. So, that out of the way. And the interior is pretty good. I mean, as far as looks goes, the truck is really nice. I like that. And it does drive well. It drives very smooth. And I have to give it to Hercules Hobbies for that, because all the bearings, like I said in the first kit, I think I over-exaggerated the amount of bearings, but all the bearings that come in the kit actually makes it a very smooth, quiet truck. And the motor doesn't get very hot. It's a happy truck to drive around. Now, there are some things that are dubious Japanese, any of my Japanese audience, that are dubious Chinese concerns. You know, just with every Chinese product that I've had, the quality is not quite there. It's like, right there. You know, they have this attitude where, well, he's a modeler, he can fix it, or it's good enough, but they wouldn't care about it. Well, first thing, I don't know if you can see in here because it's very, very tight down there. The axles, where you're supposed to put the, let me bring the light over. Where you're supposed to put, you can barely see it, that little circle on the top of the axle. That's where the diff lock kit goes. Well, that's cool. I love the fact that you can get a diff lock kit. I mean, that's really neat. But the problem is, they don't give you a cap for it. So, this thing is open to the dirt, grime, road, small animals, fuzzy creatures, anything that can get in there. It doesn't have anything to stop that. The other thing is, and this is also a Tamiya thing, the battery box is crazy tight. I can get the red battery in there. That's a Venom pack. But I can't get the little cheap eBay LiPo battery, the black one that is sitting on top. I can't get that in there. It's way too tight. And there's nowhere to route the wires, so your wires hang on the ground and they slide around and destroy it. So that's the other thing. Now, another function that I saw on the Tamiya version of this truck is this little opening door. Now, that's really cool, but if you don't have the light and sound kit, it's useless. What they should have done, and I don't know if, again, I don't have the Tamiya version of this truck, but what they should have done was give you the option of putting that on with the hinge or putting it on without the hinge. Sorry about the bad paint job. I got bored the other day and I was trying to do something and it didn't come out right. That's going to be repainted in a while, so don't worry about it. Now, the hub covers didn't come with it. That's something I 3D printed, but they didn't come with it. But you know, that I don't think any of the Tamiya trucks, unless you get something like a Scale Art truck or a Leslie truck, they don't come with them either. So, and those trucks are a good $1,000 or more. So, you know, that's something you have to get a feel for. Now, transmission problems. You may saw this little shaft just sitting around and rolling around. That thing right there, the tolerances are so close on the bearings that there's no way that they can slide back and forth. The little shift dogs for the first and second gear slide back and forth on here. And there's also a bearing that sits here and a bearing that sits here. Actually, there's 4 of them, but they have to slide back and forth. But the tolerances are so close that they will slide back and forth, but it is too tight, so it can't pull them back. So the little shaft that goes back and forth, it just can't. There's too much flex, so it locks up. And once it locks up, well, you're in neutral. And it's a pain in the butt that when you're a good, 50 yards away, and every time you lock up, you have to go walk over there and lift the truck up, disconnect the trailer, make sure you're not going to get ran over by a car, because I do this in my neighborhood, and drive out on the street and make sure the truck is working right, and push hand engage the transmission. So that's a pain in the butt. The other thing is too, those little spines right there, they were a lot sharper than that when I put the transmission together. So I'm thinking this metal isn't hardened, or I'm not a metallurgist, so I don't know if they harden these things or not, but I don't think it is. Will it last? Probably. I don't ever really pull anything really heavy with my trucks, so I don't know. Now, the other problem that I have with these trucks is the spacing here. That just looks trashy. But again, this is a model truck. It's not a real RC car. A real car, sorry. So I'm not worried about that. But all the bad aside, it's a cool truck. I will buy another one, but the next one I buy would never have the opening doors. The detail is incredible. Like, they give you the horns, they even give you this little tiny antenna for the radio. You got the CD antenna, the beacons. Something Tamiya doesn't give you, the little mirrors on the side. This one, I'm afraid, is probably going to die sometime in its life and disappear on the road, but for right now it looks cool. Trying to think, what else is there? Oh, the other thing is, with the doors, there's no prop for the cab, and also there is really not a lot of space in there with the interior. You can see the speed controller, and it came off of the double-sided tape, but the speed controller is kind of smashed in there, and the receiver is sitting down and glued and turbo taped under the radio tray. So they do offer a lighting and sound kit for it. So I'm trying to figure, where would you put the module if there's no space in the cab? On the Tamiya truck, I know this is where the controls for the lighting, sound and lighting kit. This is where the controls go, and there is a good amount of room in there, so I might be able to put the lighting kit in that. Okay, I'm trying to think what else I can do before we do some performance videos. Oh, well, let's do, since we got the other truck sitting right next to it. Well, the Tamiya truck, it feels sturdier. That's one thing I noticed as I'm building it. This truck is a brick. It's not gonna break. Even with the cab and it flopping around, when it falls back into place. This one, it doesn't fall in place. And the ugly little girl didn't come with it, but that's just something. I don't like my trucks to have no drivers in it. So the fit and finish is not quite there. Again, it's that Chinese phenomenon that I always get with every product I buy from them, where it's not quite there. It's close, but it's not quite there. I've had that with my Fly Sky 9X here. It's a great radio. I've had this thing for a good 8 years by now, and never let me down. It's ugly as sin, but it never let me down. And but you open it up and it looks like a guy that doesn't know how to solder has put it together. But it's reliable, so I can't complain too much. Well, that's my review. This part of the review. The next part is I'm going to put a trailer on it, put some weights on a trailer and pull it around. And I'm going to compare it with this truck. But actually what I probably would do is switch over to the dump truck, because the dump truck actually has the stock Tamiya transmission in it. So compare the dump truck with this guy, just in the pulling power and just general transmission performance. So that's part 2. Thank you for watching.